So Trials of Osiris is back and better than ever. I'm not going to go too much into the details, but I will link the TWAB and some other more in-depth videos on the Trials changes in the description box down below. The two most important aspects of these changes to me and to many other average players are going to be that 1, Trials is possibly the most rewarding playlist currently in the game. You have an extremely high chance of materials and engrams if you keep playing your same card, and I actually got 2 Ascendant shards in back-to-back games, along with many more over time. I even got this beautiful 5 out of 5 god roll for the new best damaging legendary linear fusion rifle in the entire game. More on that in another video. The second change is fireteam matchmaking. Not everyone has access to 2 other players every weekend to duke it out with the best of the best. This weekend, Trials has been the most populated in its history, giving players who never had access to this part of the game a chance to hop in and get some amazing loot. This video is pretty much going to be my thoughts regarding solo matchmaking, my experiences this weekend, and whether I believe average players should even attempt to hop into one of the most competitive environments in all of Destiny. It might be a little bit of a different perspective than these other content creators because, well, they're far above average. Most of the player base don't actually play like they do. But, on to my first point. Firstly, I'm just gonna get it out of the way. Solo queuing is not fun. You may get a few god tier players, but because most of them likely have set teams, you're more likely to get guys like Deadweight here. Try not to get tilted because in the end, as an average player going in solo, you're probably not going for flawless, nor should you. There's more than enough loot to go around. Just move on to the next game. It may not be fun getting destroyed, but I think 2 pinnacle drops from winning both 7 games and 49 rounds per character is fun. I think earning a ton of enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, and ascendant shards is fun. I even think getting an engram every rank up with Saint 14 is fun. Very fun. I will say, in my experience, most of my matches were against teams of 3, especially late into my cards. And every single time I saw it was a 3-stack, my heart would drop. It was kind of like, oh my gosh, their team already has a massive advantage over my own. I've got nothing good to say about this one. It sucks. Unless you beat the odds and wipe the floor with them, then it doesn't suck. But eventually, Trials Freelance will come, putting every solo player on an even playing field. Regardless of this, for the average person, this Trials system is 10 times better than ever before. Anyways, back to the overarching question. Do I believe that the average player should hop into solo Trials of Osiris? And the answer is, probably, with some stipulations. Don't just focus on flawless, don't get tilted, and maybe don't associate the fun factor with whether you get a god roll weapon or not. That's pretty much it to guarantee a decent Trials experience. The talk of the town is that these bigger content creators are kind of yelling at every 1300 light level player to jump in because you'll get the most amazing gear. And it's mostly to inflate the player base and so they have an easier time going flawless by fighting solos for 7 games straight. But at the end of the day, if you try out the mode and see a lot more negative than positive, then don't feel forced to jump in. The average player will get a ton of loot, yes, but not nearly as much as these top tier players are getting by farming solos. Maybe that's just my take. But if you are going to try to go flawless, or even if you just don't want to face 3 stacks, there's a kind of trick to help you out a little. Watch your queue. This doesn't work every single time, but if you watch the number and it jumps from 1 out of 6 to 4 out of 6, or 2 out of 6 to 5 out of 6, you press escape as fast as your little fingers let you. This can actually help alleviate some of the pressure by avoiding being thrown into stacked 3-person fireteam lobbies. I'll be honest though guys, if you can find 2 other average people, I promise you that now is the best time ever, and I really mean ever, to go flawless. Especially later on in the weekend when most of the tryhards have already made their way to the lighthouse, and you can destroy all those solo players, like the 3 stacks have done to me all weekend. Maybe you should take advantage of this. And yeah, I'm talking to you clanmates, and especially Kenny. Join me in my quest for loot. But anyways, Guardians, that was actually my first ever kind of Destiny 2 video. Like ever. It's odd. I wrote a script and everything. Is this the start of something new? Leave a like on the video if you think so. And yeah, peace.